Okay, recording now. All right, so first things first, I want to try to create just a little environment to set some files up that I can show you like how we mass update things. So I'll create this folder, mass update. And when I say things, I mean curriculum content, lessons in GitHub, because we have such a huge amount of material on Learn co-curriculum, and we often have like we have to make the same fix to a bunch of different stuff. It can be pretty frustrating and time consuming to do it like one by one. So mass updating is a way to do a bunch of stuff in bulk. It is also, it can be like very, very time saving. You might ever sometimes see commits from me that are like, I'm curious to see this one in here. Yeah, auto commits. These are all done from like, I need to fix something. In this case, it was some footers in Canvas. And what I did was I had all of the repos from a section of the course locally on my computer, iterated through them and made some kind of change to them through some bash programming scripting, and then push them all up programmatically in each step. So I like make the big change to everything, then iterate through the entire thing and git add everything, and iterate through the entire thing and git commit everything. And as long as everything looked good, then I'd go ahead and push everything too. So that's what I want to try to do today. And also just try to like talk about how we explore using bulk stuff like this. So here I have my folder. Let's find a course that we can work with. Probably go with phase 0 just because it's actually not very long, so it should work pretty well. So the first thing I want to do is get all the repos from everything in this course locally. The good thing is it's built into the GitHub to Canvas gem. So there's two commands we use that we can use to get all the data from the Canvas course like this. The first one is query. And query just takes in a course ID, so 3280. This will produce a YAML file of every lesson in this course and actually includes some like extra data in it that's pretty interesting, but not useful to us right now. So what I want to do is it will output it right. Like if I just run this, it'll output it to the terminal. I actually want to store it in something so I can then like call that file later. So I'll put it in a results.yaml file. This just will overwrite. It'll create this file and overwrite the contents with whatever is output from this command. So I'll press enter, and it's not showing anything because it's actually all the outputs being captured here. So now if I run cat results.yaml, I'll get this big YAML file, and you can see everything in here. It's got the IDs and titles for every course, even has indentation. And then it has the URL for the lesson and an empty URL string or repository string. So this query creates this structure for us. Now that I have this results.yaml file, I can run GitHub to Canvas again and do map results.yaml. And this will actually produce the same structure, but with all of these filled in. What this is actually doing, this map function, is it iterates through the YAML file we have and goes and queries the info from each of these lessons. And because the lesson actually includes in the HTML, it includes like this. Oh, that's funny. Wait, where is it? There it is. It includes these. I can actually capture this thing captures the data from this header and puts it in. It fills in this data. So if I ran this, it would actually output a bunch of stuff. All this stuff. I don't need most of this, so I can actually use a different option. I just want the CSV of this, and I'll put this in a CSV file, or I'll call it phase 0.csv. Just gonna go do some work. In the meantime, I'll open up a second tab. I have some scripts that I'm going to go grab that I always end up using the same templates for stuff. So I'm gonna grab those. Where am I? Oh, I was already in the scripts folder. And cool, this is done. So now if I do phase 0, oh, I'm in the wrong state. I'm sorry. Still working. Okay, still working. So this is a template we'll use. This is a bash script. You can see it's our familiar bash command here. And then it has this extra thing here. This command outputs whatever we $1 is an argument we've passed in. So when we call this file, we can actually pass in a value. It will make a directory of that file, that value name, cd into it, and then read from a CSV of that name. So for example, since we're creating a phase 0 CSV, I can call this clone thing. This is not what we'll use, but we'll use something similar. And it will create a phase 0 folder, cd into it, and then read the phase 0.csv file. The output of this file can then be looped in bash. It actually is read line by line. This is how line reader works, separated by commas. And then each of these variables, these are all variables, represent different columns in this CSV. So it's still working. Okay. In this particular command, this is like a read all the columns from this CSV line by line, and then for column G, git clone that thing. So this particular one is a cloning tool for taking a CSV file and cloning everything into it. So we'll actually use something similar to this. I won't use this exact one.
Sorry, Max, where are we exactly?
I'm in this is actually in, if you're curious about these scripts, if you go to the Learn Code curriculum team folder,
Okay.
the scripts folder is here, and this is actually this script right here that I'm looking at.
Thank you.
But these are a bunch of example ones. These are a little outdated, but they're all adaptable to what we need to do. A lot of them do the same thing. This one is okay. That one's slightly different. We'll talk about that one in a second. But in this case, I had this on my computer. I'm just grabbing it to modify it. Cool. Okay, so phase 0.csv is created, and I can check that by. Did I not do? Oh, something. Okay, it worked, but it didn't output the format I want. So that's curious. I'm not sure why. I'm gonna make sure I use the right command. Yep, CSV should return the CSV structure. So I want to do something else. I want to do a slightly different version, which is instead of --CSV, for some reason that doesn't work. I'm going to get URLs only, which is the similar. These both work for the map, and this one just outputs the URLs, which is all we actually need. And I'll put them in a list in a CSV file, just like this again. So that should work the same way.
So were you just seeing that it wasn't actually comma separated?
No, I was seeing when I ran that, when I went to go look at the phase 0.csv file, it output this YAML stuff, which it shouldn't. It should not. This is the default behavior, which it worked, but it's not. I wanted a CSV, which should be just a list of these values in rows.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let that run again. This will just give me a list of URLs, but that's fine. That's all I need. And in the meantime, I'm gonna create a file. I'm going to paste this in. This is that same script. We're going to modify it because here, okay, this is still working. This should be a list of URLs soon, which means that it should just have one column in it. So I'm going to go ahead and modify this and say read the first column, and for every one of those values, git clone that thing. So let's see what this does. Still running. Any questions while we're waiting? No? Cool. The other command, I'm going to look at this other script ready while we're waiting too. We will use something like this. This is a slightly more complex bash script, but we'll use it. What this does, this is just the check for arguments. That's just like to make sure that you have the right amount of arguments. I think I've gone over this maybe once before, but this script takes in one argument here, the $1 represents that, and it creates a variable repos. In Bash, variables are created with all capital letters, no spaces with the equal sign, and then whatever you want. It could be a string, or in this case, it's actually a variable slash star, which represents the current path slash the argument we've provided slash everything. This, as a result, ends up being an array, or a list, effectively in Bash, array of folder names within $1, within whatever this name is. So this creates a list of folder names, CDs into this folder that we've passed in as an argument. This actually might not even be necessary, because this for loop, what it does is for every value in this repos variable, CD into that value, which should be some path, and then checks out some stuff and does some work and sleeps for 5 seconds. So we're going to use this too. Once we get this stuff cloned, we're going to use this to like get data out of everything in every repo. So let's see if this is done. Yep, it's done. And is it what we want? Yes. So here's a list of all the URLs, repos for phase 1, and they're actually in order too. They should all be, yep, they are in order to the course. So what that means is, while I'm testing this out, I'm not going to clone this yet. I can just like echo $A. Again, $sign is the symbol for variable. So this variable, I want to echo this variable. So if I'm thinking this correctly, this should create a folder name. Actually, you know what? I don't even run this yet. I'll just comment this out. All I want to do is iterate over this CSV that the name I passed to it, and output the value of A, or this first value, and for every row. So let's see what happens. I'm going to run this with bash CSV and pass in phase 0. So it doesn't recognize that phase 0. Well, that's typo in here. So I'm in the same folder I want to be in right now. So we'll run this again. Cool. It output everything. I ran this command and it just output that string, this URL for every row, because that's what it's done. It's doing. What that means then is I should be able to now uncomment this, add this dot back in, and git clone this. This actually probably doesn't matter. I think we can do that. So make a directory with the name phase 0, cd into it, and then in the CSV file in the parent directory, because it's dot there, loop through it and clone stuff in. All right, let's test this out. All right. So now it's cloning every repo in phase 0.
Can we look at the command you just ran again when it?
Yeah. Oh,
That's
the bash command, or
Yeah,
yeah.
when it lets us.
There it is. It's gonna work for a minute. So we're saying this is a bash script, so we're saying bash. There should be a way to add the interrobang thing up here. I forgot. I always forget the structure of it, but that doesn't require that. But that's an aside.
Yeah, because I didn't understand what you just said.
I'm
so-
sorry.
No,
Yeah,
no.
you'll see. Like, have you ever seen the Ruby files in our old content that has like a little commented out first line? That's the it can tell bash or shell how to run a file, so you don't have to actually explicitly say bash or Ruby or something. But this file doesn't have it, so you have to explicitly say bash, and then pass in the file name, and then pass in the argument that this script wants in particular.
So this is probably something I should know, but how does it know where csvscript.sh is?
So that's because it's just like CD or any other command like code. It's just accepting a path to something. In this case, since I'm already in mass update,
So that's where it is. Okay.
I'm running it in this file. Yeah. If I was a folder up, I'd do dot, slash mass updates or mass update slash CSV script. Right.
You copied it in there at some point that I missed it.
Oh yeah. I created this new file. I did copy this content from the script I had in the other folder, but I created this file.
Okay, sorry, I just missed a step
Okay.
somewhere.
No worries. Okay, cool. So it's done cloning. So now I should have a phase 0 folder. And if I cd into phase 0 and then type ls, I get all the repos from phase 0. Cool. Now I want to be able to do things in en masse to all the stuff in here. So that's where the other script comes in, which I haven't created yet. So I'll create a file, iterate over repos.sh. And in this file, I'm going to borrow this code to start. This is all some of the stuff is not necessary, so we'll just get the bare bones. Don't even need this. This script, I'll take out the contents in here. Just like I did in the previous script, since this is actually live content, or not live content, but it's like stuff I don't want to mess with immediately unless I know what I'm doing. What I might just do is echo something like echo, or you know what, I can do like, I want to cd into every repo and do a git log -1. Get the last commit from every repo. And I could even say like echo, so echo the repo name we're in or the path we're in, and then log the most recent commit. Let's see if this works. Oh, and then so this script is set up so that we're passing an argument in the current folder, pwd. This variable is the current folder we're in. So this is assuming that I'm in the parent folder, and I'm going to be calling it like this. I'm going to be calling it iterate, and then pass in the folder name. And this should now log every path, every repo that I'm going through, and then output the most recent commit from each of those.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All those Maxwells, Blakes, and Liz's.
Yeah. Look at that. Too proud.
Absolutely nobody else.
Yeah. So this works pretty well. It can go through every single thing. We know we have this basic skeletal structure. Now we can write whatever we want in here and do all kinds of stuff. One thing that's also helpful at this stage So I'm still in the mass update folder. I want to look up a tool because I always forget how to use this tool, but it's super useful. Grep. It should be available on your system already. But you can do a bunch of stuff with this. You can look up patterns from files. So I think, let's see if we can find like a command, grep all files in subfolder or subdirectory. Grep word file. Okay, so grep word search star will search all text files in the current directory with wildcards. So if I cd'd into one of these for a second, grep introduction star. Let's see if I can catch something. All right, I'll open this up and see if I can find some word that we spot in the code in the README. Oh, there's no introduction here. So, all right, let's see if I can find this. Grep your dashboard star. Cool. All right, so it found it in this file. It found your dashboard. If I cd out of this and I do grep your dashboard star, does it do it again? Ah, so it says all these are all directories. Okay, so that doesn't work. So subdirectories, -r, cool. So if I do -r, it now should be recursively, cool. Hey, look at that. It recursively searched through all the repos and it found that same line from this one lab by just like based on this string.
So I'm confused that the star is now at the end. What's
the star is the search is the, that's the, I guess in this case, all files. So
okay.
similar to the script we saw a moment ago, this one, it's the same kind of bash command. It's like
Okay.
everything in here.
I was thinking that was part of what we were searching for somehow.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point though to clarify, because that does work. I'm sure there's like that's often a wildcard symbol itself, right? So in this case, yeah, it's just grep and then the string you want to search, and then -r to search recursively from where you are, and star for everything. And I guess you can, looks like you can provide a specific folder though if you want to search somewhere in particular. But this is helpful for us, like for instance, I don't know if Liz, you fixed that typo that we had in.
I did not. I left it for this.
Oh, excellent.
Yes.
So let's go find that typo.
I didn't want to go find it in every single repo and fix it.
Of course, of course. Let's see if it's in here.
It's
If you're preserve your work.
no, it's you're looking. Let's see. It's in creating and inserting DOM nodes lab. Is where I found it.
Cool.
I was gonna say, what did I miss from the earlier labs?
Oh,
I haven't gotten it here yet, though.
Oh yeah. No, so I copied and pasted this set of instructions to a bunch of the repos labs, but I copy and pasted an error and a typo here, assignment. So like this error exists in a bunch of different repos.
I think they're all later in phase 0 though, Blake. I don't think you've gotten that far.
Okay.
But it's surprisingly hard to see.
Yeah, for sure. So what we can do, I can definitely get you a list right now of where that exists.
Awesome, yay.
And this is, oh boy, so it's a bunch of stuff, right? So here's,
Wow.
and they're all the same, and there you can see it, boy, okay, cool. So that's, that's certainly helpful. We could manually go in and go through the process of updating them all. But that's not what we're here today to do. I want to fix all of these. And I can fix them. I can fix them using this process. There is probably a better way using bash. So let's see if we can learn how to use sed. Sed is, I don't know what it stands for. What does it stand for? It doesn't even tell me here. Okay. But sed, it does allow you to replace strings, and actually like in a very pretty compact way. It's certainly not very user-friendly initially to get into, but it does let you fix things like this in batches.
Maybe
So
sorry.
sorry, what's up?
No, I was just gonna say maybe it's string edit or something. I don't know.
I bet you it is string edit or something. Yeah.
I'm making it up.
I'm seeing it here at Stream Editor.
Stream editor. Excellent. So I'm going to probably rely on Stack Overflow to give me, oh, Stack Overflow's not here. Okay. Find and replace text in files. Okay, cool. So it's going to be this kind of structure. We're giving the old text, new text, and G should be global. It is like a regex kind of structure here, and you provide the file. Cool. Well, we now have some way to go through every repo and check for something in the README and replace it global and immediately replace it. So we know like this is a typo. There's definitely no situation where you want this assignment to be in the content. So I'm gonna do this, readme.md. Since I am always seeding into the repo folder in all of these loops, I should just be able to access the README directly. And I can copy this as the old text and this as the new text assignment correctly. I'm guessing I is for interactive. Let's see. It doesn't tell me. All right, well, whatever. I'm gonna try it. The worst thing that can happen is I could break a bunch of repos and that are only local to me. So I'm going to now run this command, this script. It's going to cd to everything and try to replace assignment to it with assignment. All right, bash iterate over the repos phase 0. Does not like that. Cool. Why doesn't it like that? Maybe I have to try this. Nope. And now command code M R. Well, I'll take a step back and I'll just do can I read the readme.md file here? Yeah, so that's definitely fine. That read everything, all the readmes in one big go. So something here is still not right. S is the substitute command for sed. My dog is barking, I apologize. Well, before I go in the loop, then let me see if I can get this to work just in one of these folders. So phase 0, cd into welcome your dashboard. This, I know it's might not have the error in it, but I just want to see if I can get something. Okay, so I'm just trying to capture this effectively word and replace it with assignment. Run that. Okay, so it doesn't like that anyway. Okay, so there's something wrong here. What if I do this? Fancy. Attributing MD. What's going on?
Is it possible I mean, this seems ridiculous, but is it possible it doesn't like the uppercase?
That's a good question. It should be fine with that.
Yeah, you would think,
Um,
but it is the capital R that it's,
Maybe there's another example we can find. Input file. Global replacement. This has always worked just fine for me before. What's going on here? Oh, I hope I don't just like start going through and replacing every reference of effectively with assignment. Oh, hey, it just did it. That's interesting. So why did that? It didn't like that I have I here. That was the problem, but it also output everything if I don't have I. But it did replace effectively with assignment. If I close this, let me open it. No, it didn't. Oh, it did actually change it here, but it didn't. Sorry, y'all. Sorry for the detour and figuring out how SET works, but
no, this is cool.
yeah, it's worth exploring it. Okay, so let's see what this they recommend here. Awk is another option. Okay, we could use awk. Set has always worked fine. This is not what I want. Yeah, that's structure. It's for a string. All right. Word in file. Yeah, awk. Okay. All right. Let's see what awk does. Awk bash. This word. So hey, okay, cool. So they want to. There's something thing with us. Okay, we're going to take. Finds an argument. Oh. Why does this not work? Oh, hey, that's the problem. Need to provide that. Okay. You need to provide an empty string, and it did replace it. That's so silly. Okay. back on track. Cool. So
what just happened? Sorry.
for whatever reason, and it wasn't explained in the previous information we had, just thankfully for this Stack Overflow guy, just change I to I, empty string. Oh, it requires an argument for I.
Mhm.
So
And what is I doing again?
I must be creating a backup. So it's like I is the interactive flag. So I think it does it automatically without prompting you or doing anything, but by providing it an empty thing, it just doesn't do any backup. If you do, I'm guessing if I did dot back, it would create a dot back file for me.
Okay.
So this though should do what we want. It's going to go through and replace everything, and no backups. We're doing it live. Okay, and where are my commands? Cool. I'm going to run over this, and all right. Now, if I grep assignment recursively through everything, check it out. It found the script that we were running. This is that sed, but it didn't find anything in any other repo. So now we know that this has successfully changed all those errors. Cool.
Oh, okay.
And it's still local, so if we did screw it up, then we would just not push them.
Yeah, exactly. And like you can totally just abandon this entire folder and just reclone it pretty quickly once you get the hang of this stuff. So if you did something terrible, just undo it. Just forget about it. So like actually, I have a lot of like folders of previous clones of stuff that I just do it for some particular fix and forget about it.
Wow, that is so awesome.
So now we have all these repos that have been changed, but we want to get them all up to GitHub. So we can still use this same command, but we'll modify it though. So in this time, this is the first one. I'll keep these in comments I'll push this up as a repo and share it with you. First step is find error. Example first step. It's not necessarily what you want to always do, but find error and replace in all files. In all. Second step. Would be, let's just make sure, let's run git status. So say git status. We should see that all of those things, all these repos. So it's saying, I found a bunch of them that there's nothing to commit because those are all the ones that were unchanged, but it recognizes every one of them that has that change in it now has a modified readme. So I can go ahead and do git add readme. If I didn't do anything to these ones, it really doesn't matter if I run this on those repos. So I will run this again. Cool. Now if I run git status again, I should get a totally, oh no. Okay, so now modified, staged, but ready to go for a commit, but all modified. Cool. So git commit -m auto. Cool. So it's definitely committed a bunch of stuff. And
Wow.
so it would be really cool if we had the workflow up and running. This would be great.
Yeah. it's still already pretty darn cool.
It
though.
is certainly much faster. Yeah.
And I'm watching one of them live to see if I.
Oh, yep. I just saw one come through.
Nice.
Which one are you looking at, Blake?
HTML images lab.
All right.
So I guess I did miss that typo in quite a lot. When did you make that?
I made it maybe a couple months ago, but
Okay.
I definitely slipped my mind too. And
I forget how I've happened to notice it. I just don't even remember. There it is, 2 minutes ago. Okay, it just took GitHub a minute to.
oh yeah, yeah.
update.
Cool. All right. So all of those changes now in place.
Saving your work remotely, done on this assignment with the requisite number of N's and M's. Looks good.
Let's see if I can just create a repo on. Yep. If you all don't have Hub, I highly recommend it for our purposes. You can use, once you have it set up, it does require like some credential setup. You can create repos on Learn Code Curriculum very quickly like this. Like I just initialized this and created it. Also, Git Open is an extension you can install too, and it will open up the repo associated. So like this is, I haven't pushed anything up yet, but this is a repo I just created. And oh, you know what? I don't want to. I've pushed all that stuff up, so I really don't want this, all that repo, all those repos in there.
You know, when you get status first, I'm always,
Sure.
not that it really matters, but
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so I deleted. I did not stage those anymore. Those are all deleted. Just these 4 things. Okay. Good. Proper etiquette. Proper procedures.
I would
Great.
be afraid. I think you got an extra M in there, ironically enough, Max.
Oh man. Cool. All right. So this would be. Yeah. So those are the basic scripts, and then this is an example of what the CSV thing would be. Okay.
Wow, that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really fun.
Yeah, that was really cool. Well, one thing, Max, how did you just quickly delete that M without having to back up all the way there with your cursor?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's that?
If
shortcut?
you if you hold on Option, you can click.
I never knew that.
Also,
okay.
if you're holding down Option and you go left and right, you skip word by word,
Awesome.
which
Cool.
is super quick and yeah, easier.
Yeah, I kept getting, I've seen you do that before and I keep forgetting to ask you. So thank you, Blake.
Yeah.
Of course. Oh yeah, that's nice.
Back arrow is a major pain in the neck.
And I'm sure you know about the multi-select, Blake.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, for VS Code.
And then there's this one too. You can like multi-line, right?
The multi-select is Command D, is that right?
Yeah, Command D. So if you're highlighting something, Command D, yeah, we'll select one at a time.
Right.
With them all.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else I can tell y'all? I mean, at this point, well, maybe we take a quick break, but we can also start talking about GitHub workflow or something else in this list. So that this is now should be covered, unless you have any other questions about that.
I don't myself right now, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to, oh, look, I just got an email that mass update scripts was just added to GitHub.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't think so. Is now a good time to look at that last fix on,
Oh, the gem. Yeah, let's talk about that. If you're cool with that, Blake, Liz and I dove into some pair programming on the GitHub to Canvas gem. And we have one more thing to try to fix there.
Awesome.
if it's okay, can we stop the recording and start it?
Yes.